You want them to understand what you think about this particular issue. And an argument is the same. When we read or hear a good legal argument, we want to be in no doubt you think about this particular topic. But the person who wins a row with friends or family members normally does so by being louder or ruder or more obnoxious, or just by going on and on and on until you can't take it anymore. You just have better things to do. You cannot do this to a judge. If you lose a row, if you lose a shouting match, and I don't care how good you are at this, everyone's lost at least one. You walk away with your tail between your legs, your ego is slightly deflated, you feel a bit worse about yourself. But in the back of your mind you still reckon you were right, don't you? You might have been out-shouted or out-insulted, or maybe they had more time on their hands so they kept going on and on, but you still reckon you were right. You might still be thinking about that as you go to bed that evening. The next time you see that person, in the back of your mind, you're probably still thinking, you know what, I was right about that. If you lose an argument, your mind is changed. You're persuaded, at least a little bit. If you win an argument, you don't just beat people over the head with your opinions. You persuade them. You change their mind. You make them think the same way that you do, so that the next time they see you, they kind of agree, instead of still thinking, I was right. Do you think you'd be good at that? Do you think you'd be good at not only getting your opinion across clearly, but winning over your classmates and academics to that way of thinking? It's a third kind of key skill I'd pick out. Final one I would mention is, I think, very underrated, but definitely very important. And it's an ability to perform well under pressure. The way that we examine on LLB programs, and this is true pretty much in most institutions in the UK, the way that we examine is by end-of-year exam, typically. There tends not to be that much in the way of continuous assessment. Your grades for the year and ultimately your degree classification depend upon a few weeks in May or June. All comes down to your end-of-year exam. And what you will have to do in your end-of-year exam is something like this. You'll be sitting in a great big hall full of hundreds of people. There'll be a sheet of paper in front of you, and at the appointed time you will be directed to turn that piece of paper over. Some of the questions you'll be asked to do will be what we call essay-type questions. So they will invite you to discuss, present an argument in some contentious area of the law.